Hey, church girls.
Hey, church girls.
Welcome to our podcast. I know you guys been waiting, and we are here.
Yes.
I'm your host, Amanda, and this is my co-host, Pastor Valika.
Hey, y'all.
And we're so glad you're here. So, before we even get into anything that we're going to be doing, we want to talk a little bit about why we started Hey, Church Girls. I feel like this is needed. I feel like we're going to talk about the things that the churches don't talk about. They're scared to talk about, or they just don't want to. So you bring it to us, we're going to talk about it.
Absolutely.
So we're here. This is an open space. We're going to heal. We're going to grow. We're going to learn. We're going to do it all together. So welcome. And hey, church girls.
Hey, church girls.
Okay, so first we're going to start with the icebreaker. We're going to answer some questions. We're going to pick out the jar. So this is our cute little jar. And we're going to pick a couple questions, and we're just going to answer some questions. We're live, so if you guys have questions, let us know. If you have topics that you want us to talk about, let us know. All right, you pick first.
What's a red flag you ignored before?
You go first. Let me make sure they can hear us.
What's a red flag that I ignored before? Allowing people just to say anything to me and not speaking up for myself. Allowing people just to have the freedom to talk to me any old kind of way, and I just sit there and allow it to happen, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And not speak up for myself, being timid, because I thought it was the right thing to do. Operating in ignorance will allow you to do such things or whatever. So, I was ignorant to a lot of things, and a lot of people got away with saying a lot of things to me. And I accepted it, for what they said. I accepted it for, what they said and made me feel, that's what a red flag was to me. But not anymore.
Okay.
Yeah. What about you?
I think red flags. Let me see what the question is. What's a red flag you ignored before? I think a red flag was people taking kindness for weakness and knew that I was a giver. I wasn't stingy. Yeah. And so begging, just knowing that I wasn't going to say no. I feel like a lot of people, especially being in the church, a lot of people think they try to use God to make us, do stuff that benefits in their favor.
Scare tactics.
Yeah. So I think that was it for me. I just want to make sure everybody can hear us, because I know we got these microphones hooked up. So, 1 second. Can you just check and see if we can hear? Okay. Oh, cool. All right. Okay, so next I'm gonna pick. Let me see. Oh, let me not look, because I'll go through these and I'll just be picking the ones that I like. Have you ever stayed too long in a toxic relationship?
Absolutely.
I want to hear about it.
Well, it depends on which relationship, because, we have many relationships in our lives that we go through. I once stayed too long in a toxic relationship, physically, being in a relationship with another man, and just God told me to leave him alone, and I didn't. The Lord warned me and told me that it was going to get 7 times worse, but I did it anyway. Mm-hmm. And the things that I went through, the pain that I endured, the hurt, the brokenness that came from that, just being disobedient to God and staying in that because of trying to fill an empty void, trying to feel something that nobody but God could feel. Mm-hmm. I stayed in that just way too long, and I suffered. Not only did I suffer, my children suffered. Yeah. Ministry, that God had called me into, it suffered, And so I can relate as far as, you know, on a physical, in my personal life. In the church, yes, because it happens. You can stay, and it's not a bad thing. You know, sometimes God will tell you to leave from a place, you know, and you, just because of the kindness of your heart and you don't want to hurt nobody's feelings, you know, you don't want them, you know, to be hurt or whatever, you stay there, you know, but, you know, while they're benefiting off of you, you're hurting. Yeah. You're becoming more broken, you know, and you become stagnated. And so, yeah, I definitely, from both sides, I've experienced that. How about you?
Yeah, I've experienced like a toxic relationship, and I feel like when you're in the world, it seems normal. Yeah. But I feel like when you're in God, you know that it's unacceptable.
Absolutely.
And I do feel like God gives us like so many times to leave. How many times have y'all prayed, like, God, if you get me out this relationship, like, you know, like, it be so bad, and then you're praying like, God, if you get me out this relationship, and then God gets you out. When that man go to jail, that's God getting you out.
Yes, sure is.
When everything start going bad, and that's God getting you out, and like, we miss the sign because we want to be in love so bad. We think that abuse is love. We think that toxic is love because somebody's yelling and chasing you down. That is not love.
That's not love. No, it's not.
And that's what, like, we got to realize. But I feel like in some point of every woman's life, you're facing insecurity. Yeah. And absolutely. So identity problems or identity crisis. So you're trying to be in a relationship that serves you no value. None whatsoever. Because you're struggling with self. That's something within yourself that you're struggling with. And that's why you're in a relationship like that. A God-given relationship is not a relationship where y'all yelling and screaming at each other. Y'all fighting in front of the kids. This man is knocking you upside your head. He disrespecting your family. That is not a relationship God gives you. What does the Bible say about love? Love is kind. Love is patient. A man knocking you upside your head is not patient. So yeah, I've been there. And when God told me to get out, I got out, and I ain't looked back. That relationship died. I buried it. Right. So anybody ask about it, I don't know. You know. So within like the church, like, I don't think I had no like toxic relationships in the church because I'm so guarded. I don't really allow myself to get too close to people in the church because the church is the place that you get hurt the most. Yeah,
it is. Sad to say, but it is.
Yeah.
When it's actually supposed to be the hospital, where you get healing and you know receive growth and maturity. You find a lot of people that goes through church hurt, you know, and they suffer from trauma, you know, and they lose trust and different things like that. But, you know, just from this topic alone, it shows like, you know, there's so many women that are like you, and there's so many women that are like me. Like for you, you know what I'm saying? You left the relationship. As far as me, God warned me that if I was to take him back, that it was going to get 7 times worse, you know, and I was like, you know, well, God, I'm not going to take him back. I'm just going to, you know, and gradually, little by little, girl, he was inching his way back in. And before you knew it, I was in a world that I've never thought I would ever be in. You know, I went through things that I never thought or seen myself ever going through. But the red flag was there. Yeah. And the warning was there. And it was up to me to take heed or to be disobedient. Yeah. And so for my disobedience, I went through a lot. As far as you, when God told you to get out, you ran. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You didn't look back. You said it was dead to you. You know, so there is a strength that comes from, you know, that you had. You gained a strength somewhere in your life. That strength came from somewhere. Yeah. You know, and so there's a lot of people that, you know, that are strong like you when it comes to relationships like that. Now, I'm not like that no more. Yeah. Don't try it again. I know my don't. That relationship taught me about my worth. So don't try it again. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, a lot of women are strong enough just to walk away, say, I'm not going to go through this again. And then there's a lot of women that are weak and that are looking for love because they didn't have it growing up. You know what I'm saying? They didn't have the father figure growing up. And so they're looking for that love and they hold on to what they think is love. And it's really not love. It's just toxic.
Yeah, I really feel like not only people, but like parents don't feel like stuff that their kids go through, it kind of molds them as who they're going to become in life.
Yeah.
If you yelling at your kids all day, calling them dumb, stupid, ugly, they're gonna believe that. Yeah. They're gonna be because they love and trust you. So they trusting that you calling them ugly. Right. I must be ugly. So that's toxic too. We gotta learn how to be toxic in our relationships with our kids too. Right. We gotta learn how to not be toxic.
Yeah, that's a subject, concerning our children. I think we should touch on later on as we just keep going with the podcast. But a lot of things, in toxic relationships, it just really hurts us, and if we can catch it sooner than later, it would help us, so much along the line. So I thank God that I learned from that. I thank God that it's to me, I would say it's sad that it took that. For me to learn who I really was, and learn my worth, that I had to go through that situation just to learn who I really was in God, and, to learn that I didn't have to settle for less. And so I think I'm grateful for the lesson. I'm grateful for the lesson that I learned in the midst of that, and that I no longer have to deal with that anymore.
Period. Period, you guys. Did y'all hear that? Don't stay in toxic relationships. Absolutely. That is not from God. That is not of God. So, this is the last question, and then we're going to get on the topic.
All right. They all trying to come out. Let's see. When do you hear God's voice the most? I'm going to let you go first on this one.
So, when do I hear God's voice the most? I feel like when I am on the verge of giving up. I feel like after I done all I can. Like Johnny McClurkin, what he say? After you done all you can. After I literally feel like I've done everything absolutely that I could do. Like when I'm at my wit's end, when I'm just like, okay, God, I'm done. I'm throwing in the towel. That's like, I feel like everything quiets down at that point, and that's when God, He usually shows up. So when I'm literally done
trying.
When I'm done, God be like, hold on, you ain't done yet. Right. Hold on, here I come. So I
take because we try to do everything on our own, because we're so independent, and so we try to figure it out on our own, and we don't give God space. To be God in our lives, because we're trying to figure it out, and so we get to that okay, God, I'm just done. I don't even know what to say, anymore. And so for me, I hear God the most is when I'm quiet, just like you. It doesn't even necessarily have to be for me when I'm at my wit's end, or when I'm just when I'm sitting in a quiet place, when the world is going on, but I'm still, I can hear God's voice more speaking, and He speaks in so many different ways. He speaks through music. He speaks through scripture. He can even speak through your children. If you listen in the wind, He'll speak. In the small, still voice, you just have to have an ear to hear the voice of God.
Sometimes we miss it.
Ooh, Lord. And
sometimes we miss it.
We need it all the time, but when we miss it is when we really, really need it, And so, but just being able, we have to, have an ear for God's voice. You got to know that the voice of God, because the enemy, he comes in and he talks and he whispers and he speaks, you know what I'm saying? So you have to be able to distinguish the voice of God. How do you get to that place to be able to distinguish the voice of God? And not mix it up for the enemy's voice, And so for me, I just have to be in a place of stillness, a place of quietness, I hear God when my children are resting, you know what I'm saying? And it's not a whole bunch of riffraff going on, I'm able to hear God, or it could be through a song. You know what I'm saying? I can ask God, something I've asked Him months ago, and He'll send the answer either through a song or even through a scripture, or it could just be through one word. That's how I hear God's voice. So
how do y'all hear God's voice?
Tell us in the comments.
Tell us in the comments, and we're gonna get on the topic now. So topic. Okay. Topic. We're gonna just pick. I don't even know.
You can pick.
Okay.
Let's see. Get in there. Because I'm kind of anxious to see what we're going to pick up.
I know.
Okay, let's see.
Come on, be a good one.
Wanting God, but still wanting fun.
Ooh, that's a good one. So the topic for today is wanting God, but still wanting fun.
Ooh.
So this is gonna resonate with a lot of people because you want God. People get it misconstrued. They think that they can have their cake and eat it too. They think they can you can still have fun, but you gotta pick and choose what kind of fun you have that still honors and gives glory to God.
Yes.
So I'm gonna let you start.
Well, wanting God but still wanting fun. I had to understand, in order for me to have fun, I had to understand who God was and how God was for me. Wanting God and still wanting, when you say wanting fun, can go in a way of still wanting to straddle the fence. You know, you still want to have one foot in and one foot out. You know what I'm saying? You want to be holy on Sunday, but you want to go to the club. You know, as for me, I was different. You know, I wasn't in church when I was in my sin. I did what I wanted to do. You understand what I'm saying? If I wanted to be in the world, that's what I did. I was in the world. But when I wanted to live for God, that's what I did. I lived for God. There were times that I was tested, you know, with the temptation of wanting to have fun outside of the church. And that temptation came because of the tradition of we couldn't do this and we couldn't do that and we weren't allowed to do this and we weren't allowed to do that. You know, I grew up in that kind of household that we weren't able to go to the movies. And although my uncle still snuck us off to the drive-thru, we weren't able to go to the movies and we weren't able to hang out with our friends and have fun and do stuff like that. You know, I was a neighborhood kid. You know, I played with the children across the street, you know, and so my whole life growing up was church. And so I didn't have the normal life like a regular child did. So as I got older, I wanted to see what the world was about. Right. You know, but I still love God. Yeah. And in my mind, I still feared him, you know, but I wanted to see what the other side was about. I wanted to see what the hype was about, you know. Yeah. But one thing that I did not do is I did not say that I was saved and I was still going to the club. Right. I didn't do that. I tried my hardest not to live a hypocritical life. I tried my hardest not to profess something that I wasn't. Yeah. You know, I had so much respect, not for the church, but not only for the church, but for God, to not live a hypocritical life. If I was in sin, I was in sin. Yeah. You know, and if I was in church, I was in church. You wouldn't know it unless I allowed you to know I was out there having fun. Yeah. You know, but me wanting God and still having fun, I had to actually find a way, and I had to broaden my horizons, if that makes sense. I had to, you know, open my mind up to things and do things, you know, outside of living a sinful life. You can have fun in church. You can still go out. You know what I'm saying? We go to the mall, we have fun. We go out to eat, we have fun. You know, we plan events and we have fun. We can plan things and still have fun. Yeah. You know, and don't have to dibble and dabble in the world. You know, but there has been a time that, you know, I love God, but I wanted to do my thing, and so I stepped out of His will. Yeah. You know, and I wasn't going to sit up here and say, "Oh, I'm saved and sanctified," and you know, I'm out there, you know. Yeah. Shaking a tail feather, you know what I'm saying? So that's just how it was. Yeah. What about you?
So wanting God and having fun. So I feel like I backslid a few times. You know, same. So cause I was out in the world first. Before I even, but you know, we've been in church our whole life. We've been in church our whole life. So being in the church, I feel like I backslid because I let the devil trick me into thinking I was missing out. He tricked me into thinking I wanted to drink and party and go out and be this and be that. And That's just not. I feel like once that high is over,
it's over.
Back to reality. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So, I feel like you can want God and still have fun too. I don't think fun is you gotta drink and smoke.
No, you don't.
You don't have to. You don't. You can still go to like where they play music and have fun, but y'all want to dance and do that. Yeah. I mean, I just grew out of that. Right. I did it for so long, and I just grew out because I don't want to disappoint God. We too old now.
Yeah, you know, for real.
And the decisions that we make now, I feel like affect us more than they did when we were younger.
Yes, they do.
So I don't want to disappoint God. Every decision that I've been making is, does this honor God? You know, what does the Bible say? Come out of the world and be ye separated. So to be set. So if you in the world still, you like everybody else. No. God is looking at y'all all the same. Absolutely. You can't do God's will and still be in the world. You can't. You can't teach people to serve God and you only serving God on Sundays, and then the rest of the weekend you partying and you being like everybody else, because then you're gonna mislead the people. Oh yeah. You can't mislead the people and still honor God. Oh yeah. Definitely true. Yeah, so that's my take on that.
That's why he says choose you this day whom you're going to serve. Mm-hmm. You're ready to serve God and you're gonna serve mammon. You're going to serve the devil. You know, you got to choose. You got to make your choice on which side that you're going to be on.
Hot or cold.
Yeah, because he said if you're lukewarm, he's going to what? He's going to spit you out.
Yep,
That's just like me drinking like a warm cup of coffee. I hate it. You know, my coffee has to be piping hot or it has to be like an iced coffee. Yeah. And I don't give me no lukewarm coffee because I'm not hungry. I'm just going to pour it out, you know. I don't want no lukewarm food either. Yeah. You know, I need my chicken hot. Yep. You know what I'm saying? But that's just how God is with us. Yeah. You know, you're either going to be on fire for me or you're going to be out there and you're going to do what you want to do. Mm-hmm. You know, and so, but I think that this, a lot of people put too much pressure on what fun is, what you cannot do in the church. Yeah. There are things that God has given us ideas, witty ideas and witty inventions and stuff that we can create an area or a safe place where Christians or church girls or just church people can have fun. Our fun is just different. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? We have fun going to church. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? That's our fun. We enjoy you know, going to church and feeling the movement of God. You know, that's our type of fun. You know, I can go, you know, I can listen to different music. It doesn't really bother me. Mm-hmm. Certain songs do trigger me. Yeah. That, you know, I'm like, I can't listen to that because it triggers me because of what I've gone through. Mm-hmm. And not only that, because of the lifestyle that I live outside of God. Yeah. And so for me, you know, I don't down people that listens to different kind of music or whatever, because I like jazz. You know what I'm saying? There's certain songs that I still like, but I know where I am right now. Mm-hmm. And I know where I am right now that I can't listen to it. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? And so for other people, you know, you may be able to listen to it and it doesn't bother you. Mm-hmm. But as far as me, I can't listen to it, you know, and so I would have to either get up, you know, and walk out. But just to bring that thing back around, as far as us having fun, you know, we have events that we can go to. You know what I'm saying?
We still do everything that they do except
the
go to the club, drink.
That's it. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, you know,
we can go skate and still go bowling.
We still can do that. We can go travel. We can do all of that. You know, but I think what has put such a strain on the church and fun is the stipulation that we grew up in the tradition of what we could not do. Mm-hmm. And, you know, we weren't able to do this and we weren't able to do that. And so that just kind of stopped us from really enjoying life as we should as a Christian. Yeah. You know, God didn't create us to be just some boring people.
Some robots.
He is not a boring God.
Yeah. He gives us a lot of choices, I feel like.
Yeah, he does.
So I feel like, this is my take. I feel like I'm not too harsh and judgmental on the people who they still having fun and they're not titled in the church. Right. You know? Right. Yeah. When I know I'm not doing right, I will sit myself down. I won't keep operating
even see me
in the church. I took a back seat for the last couple of years.
Yes.
Until I got myself together.
Yes.
Because you're not gonna make me make God man, and now I'm in trouble. So
yeah.
the people that's not titled in the church, I feel like, okay, you still speaking about God and you still want to have your okay.
Yeah.
But the people that's calling themselves bishops and apostles and pastors and ministers and evangelists and deacons, because let me tell you, I know a lot of preachers and stuff that ain't right, but they in that pulpit on Sunday.
Listen, and can preach heaven down.
Yes, but I'm just like, is it reaching heaven? Because I know you ain't living right. That's my thing. You know, that's my answer. I don't know, but my take, what we were taught is you can't get in no pulpit and we know you at home knocking your wife upside the head. You sleeping with Miss Patty of the church, the treasurer.
Oh, Lord.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we know, we was taught, like, you need to sit yourself down.
It's true, and it happens in the church. It happens in the church, and I'm not saying all the churches, but for the
about
most
60%.
Part, right? No, for real. For the most part, it's swept up under the rug.
Yeah.
And what happens when you keep sweeping dirt up under the rug?
Mm-hmm.
It keeps piling up and piling up and piling up, and before you know it, it's going to expose itself.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? You can't keep sweeping things up under the rug. You can't do it. You have to address these things. And I feel that even in the church today, especially in these day and times, because the church is up under scrutiny.
Yeah.
Like really, really bad. And the world is, they're looking at us as if we're part of the world. Mm-hmm. That's how they're looking at us. They have no respect. They have no love, you know, because of the things that are going on in the church. They're like, you guys are doing this in the church. You guys ain't no better than us, you know. And this is why I always try to make sure that if I am doing something I know I have no business doing, if I know I'm about to go out, or even if I'm getting ready to go fornicate, I'm getting about the church.
Yeah.
You know, you will never know unless I reveal it to you. You know, and there has been times that, you know, I have messed up in church. You know, even with a position, I messed up, you know, and the conviction of it all. You know,
most people don't even be convicted.
Oh my God, the conviction of it all. But I also allowed the enemy just to lie.
Yeah.
And I knew it was a lie, but I accepted it, you know, because the church made it feel like it was okay.
Yeah.
You know, and so there's a lot of things that I feel that we can do as Christian peoples, we can do as saints of God and still enjoy life. You know? I take me and my kids out, you know, and we go and we do different things. My sister, oh my God, my sister Miko, yeah. I mean, all the way saved, right? But she has fun. Yeah. I learned through my sister on how to have fun as a saint with your children. You know, she was taking them to amusement parks. Yeah. You know, things like that, you know, taking them to different things, you know, that she knew that her children would enjoy. And she even did it with my children, you know, just leading the way and just showing me, you know, you can still have fun with your children, even as a saved parent. Yeah. And you can still have fun as a Christian, as a saved mom, you still can have a lot of fun. Yeah. You just got to be linked up with the right people. Period. You know? You got to be linked up with the right people.
You do. A lot of people, like, I told my sister, like, we just got to find people that's on the same journey as us. And this is a journey, so I don't judge nobody. I don't fault nobody. We mess up, we fall, we get back up. Now, if you fall and you stay there, I can't help you. But if you fall and you get back up, you're willing to get back up. People willing to say, help me, let you get back up. You know, like, this is a journey. I don't judge nobody. Who am I to judge anybody? Because I fall short all the time. I'm trying to get it right every day. Yeah. That's why every day I thank God for allowing me another chance to get it right. Absolutely, you know. Yeah. So what would you tell somebody that wants God but still want to have fun? Like, what would you tell them?
I would tell them to really first you have to just really be in a place with God. Talk to God. Let him know how you're feeling. Be open with him. You know, that was my thing. I was never open with God. Yeah. You know, it's not that he didn't know how I was feeling anyway, but I felt that, you know, hiding my feelings, you know, and not bringing it to God, you know, that he couldn't see it for some reason. I don't know why I thought that, but I think just being open with God and telling the Lord how you feel and asking God to lead you to a place to where you can enjoy the Christian life. You know, lead you to people that, you know, that can help you enjoy the walk while you're walking this walk with Christ.
Yeah.
And God will lead you. You know what I'm saying? You get with the right people that understands God and that loves God and still has fun. Seek guidance. You know, you have to seek guidance. I didn't seek guidance. You know, I just did what felt good to me at the moment. You know? And then when I did seek guidance, it wasn't what, you know, it just kind of made it a little bit harder for me, you know. Let's go to the altar and, you know, get in your word. Well, I know that, you know what I'm saying? I know how to do that, you know. But what about the times when, you know, I just want to go do something different, you know? And so, I just had to learn to just seek God for myself. Seek the guidance of God for myself and ask God, you know, to lead me in, you know, in the right way, you know, show me what I can do and still enjoy this life. You know, there's life outside of, and I'm not saying don't do it, but there is life outside of, you know, reading your Bible and seeking God. You should do just, you know, have the Bible in you and prayer in you. It should just be an automatic, like you're waking up in the morning. That should be something that's automatically in you, you know, but just seek God's guidance. Ask God, you know, Lord, what is your will for me to have fun, you know, so I won't stray, so I won't get tempted. You know what I'm saying? Lord, help me in this area. So I just, for me, you just have to seek the guidance of God and just allow God to lead you and guide you in the ways that he needs you to go. You know, the Bible tells us not to lean to our own understanding, but in all of our ways, acknowledge him that he will direct your path. And I think a lot of people do not understand the word all and what that word all means. And everything that you do, you are to ask God and seek him and acknowledge him in everything that you do. Even down to what you should wear or how, I mean, everything. This word all covers everything. And sometimes, you know, we lean to our own understanding, and leaning to our own understanding, it gets us in trouble. You know, this is why he tells us in all of our ways to acknowledge him that he will direct our path. And so I just think that a person that is looking, that loves God, but wants to have fun, you need to do just that. You need not to lean to your own understanding, but in all of your ways, acknowledge God, that he may direct you and that he may lead you down the pathway of, you know, going to have good fun as a saint, as a Christian, you know, and you can't go wrong. You really can't go wrong.
I feel like the devil will trick you into thinking that being outside is just that. I did it for a while though, so
when I tell you I've been there,
I'm tired.
I think I was missing something.
I'm tired. So,
girl, I think I wore the world out.
I went to a work party, and even my kids heard. I had went to go eat at where I worked at, and the manager and the staff thanked me for coming to that party. They said, if you wasn't here, we would have went home. I mean, I showed out in my days of partying.
Absolutely.
But it didn't get me nowhere.
It didn't.
It was fun, but it didn't get me nowhere. So my thing is, and even when we say we want God, what does that mean? We want God. Do we want God for what he can do for us? Or do we want God because he is God? I want God because he's God. I want God because he's everything. You know, God is, I can't go a day without saying something to God. People can go days without even saying, I love you, God. I can't go a day. I'll wake up out my sleep and just be like, thank you, God.
I feel so empty. Without acknowledging him and who he is. There's a emptiness that comes with that. You know, being, how could you say you love God, but you don't even communicate with him? You know, and there are days where, you know, there's going to be times that you're not going to be able to pray long prayers and different things like that, you know. But I don't suggest or advise anyone to go a day without acknowledging God. You know, sometimes you just want to lay in your bed, and sometimes you just don't have the words to say, you know, but just a simple, like you said, I love you, God, just for who you are. not for what you can do for me. I had to change my prayers, and I was sharing this with another sister of mine. And I said, I stopped seeking the hand of God and started seeking the heart of God and what mattered to God.
Yeah.
And asking God, Lord, what are the matters of your heart? Show me the matters of your heart. And I began to see God move differently from me, God is not, he's not a genie in a bottle.
Man,
He's
snap
not.
a finger, we got God I need, and I used to expect that until I really, really got into my Bible and got into prayer and really built my own relationship with God. I really believed that because God was God, I really thought because he loved me and he said, I know I have favor over my life. So I thought that because he favored me that I'd be like, oh, hey, God, I need this. And he was just going to and give it to me. And then once I seen that he didn't operate like that, I was offended. Just being real. And I know other people can resonate. I really was offended. Did you hear me? And then when I really start to build a relationship with God and I really found out how he operates, God don't operate like that.
No, he doesn't.
And then a lot of the times too, we only go to God when we need something. Yeah. So we done spend a year, 2 years, without giving God none of the honor that is due to him.
Right.
And we wait until something happens and then we turn to God. We're using him.
Yeah. And he's like, oh, now you want to speak.
And now he well, now you're going to wait. Now I'm going to make you go through the process. Woo. I'm going to make you go through the trial and the tribulation. I'm going to make you go through the suffering. Yes. And then we're going to come back full circle and then I'll see what I can do for you.
When I'm ready.
Yeah. On my time. Right. And my time is not your time. One day to us, it's a whole different. It's different. Yeah, what is it? What? How they say it?
It's 1,000 years is one day to God.
Really? So that's why I'm just once I started operating and out of flesh, I got out of flesh, and I started operating in spirit. Okay, God, I'm about to get on your level now. And I started to read my Bible and I started to just worship and thank God just for who he was and not for what he could do for me. I'm not going to ask you for anything, God. Yes. Not today, not tomorrow. I'm not asking you for nothing, But I want to build with you. I want a relationship with you. And then after the relationship, then that's when he started doing more. I didn't have to ask. God knows what we need already.
That's it right there. What you just said. Once you align yourself up with God, you didn't have to ask. Why? He said, because I've never seen the righteous forsaken, nor his seed. This is David talking, nor his seed begging for bread. Right? And once we line up and our lives are aligned with God, these are things that are automatically attached to our obedience. These are the things that are automatically attached to him. So once we plug in with God, plug into the source and stay plugged in with God, everything else flows. Everything else flows. It's like you're plugging. If you ain't paid that light bill and you go plug that lamp in, ain't nothing flowing through there. That electricity ain't coming through. Nope. But once you pay the bill, once you align up with God and you plug into the source, everything begins to flow. The Bible says that his ways are not our ways and our thoughts are not his thoughts. He thinks and he knows way more than anything our little finite minds can't even phantom. Okay? Yeah. We can't even phantom the things that God, the good things that God has for us, but we have to what? We have to plug into him. We have to stay aligned. And a lot of people don't want to align with him. Mm-hmm. Not only they don't realize that aligning with the will of God is what releases the blessings into your life. Yeah. That's what releases what God has for you. When you align yourself up with God, you will see the best version of you that you've ever imagined. Like, I'm seeing the best version of me in this season of my life than I've ever experienced. Yeah. It's like I'm now learning who I am as a woman of God, that's called by God, walking in fulfillment of my destiny and doing what God has called me to do, shutting out the noise of the enemy and shutting out the noise of man, not worried about the faces or not worried about what people are saying, because, people are going to talk about you. You talked about Jesus. Yeah. You talked about him right to his face. You know what I'm saying? Yep. So we're not exempt to that. That's part of the territory. Yeah. But I've learned that I'm lining up with God. I'm now now seeing the best version of me, of who God tried to get me to see years ago.
Yeah.
But I allowed the things of life to just cloud my mind and clutter my thoughts and clog my ears and blind my eyes. But now that I'm plugging into the source, and now that I'm aligning and walking in obedience, I'm seeing the best version of me that I have ever seen in my entire 50 years, but that's what happens when you plug into God and you walk in full and total obedience. You have to surrender and you have to submit. You have to know that, okay, for God I live and for God I die. Lord, every day that I wake up that you allow me to see, it belongs to you. Yep. Miranda Curtis sings a song, and this has been my song since I've been back in California. I Owe You Me.
Okay. I don't think I heard that.
Oh, you have to
listen
listen
to it. I like her.
Yes. And she says, I owe you me. I owe you everything. In other words, she's saying, God, I owe you my life because of what you've done for me, because you died for me and you set me free. I owe you me. And so that's my motto for myself this year. Lord, I owe you me. Because what? You cared for me. Yeah. You sacrificed for me. You sacrificed for my kids. I owe you. Yeah. God don't owe us nothing. No. People wake up every morning thinking God owes them something. God don't owe you nothing. Yeah. We owe God. And he wants to cash in on what we owe him. Yeah. And I'm willing to give him what I owe him. Period. So yeah, that's period. Did y'all hear that? Okay. No. No. Yeah, but just it's really important, especially in this day and time, that we are just in the will of God. Yeah. We have to be aligned according to his will and according to his word. People don't know how to let self go, though. God let self go. They don't know how to less of me, more of you, God. Oh, God. They don't know how to do that. And they got to get in a place where they can do that because flesh will take over. All the time. So until people know how to calm flesh down, they're always going to be, I feel stuck. I'm going to say stuck. Yeah. Because it's too much, flesh got too much noise. Yeah, it does. Speaks very loud. Yeah. So until you learn how to quiet that down, and some people, it take a long time for them to learn because they prideful. Very prideful. Stubborn. They don't want to do the work. Yeah. But God gonna break it and he gonna get you where he wants you to be one way or another. Honey, it's better for you to yield. Yeah. Than for him to do it. Because if he gotta do it, you're not gonna like the way that he do it. No, you're not. Yeah. I'm speaking from experience. No, me too. You're definitely not. Me too. God took me through there. Yeah. And I'm gonna tell you just like that. God took me through there. Honey. And so God humbled me. I'm humbled. Oh. You ain't gotta do it again. I'm humble. And so once he humbled me, I said, you know what, God, not my will, but yours be done. I surrender all. Yes, you got it. You won. Yes, you can have that. Yes. You got it. Yes. Because the way that he took me through all that I went through, it was a point where I felt like nothing. Yeah. And I know it wasn't because he was punishing me, but he was refining me. Oh, so if people don't understand that God is not punishing them, they're going to be mad at God. See, I wasn't mad at God because I knew what the bigger purpose was. I seen the bigger picture before God even finished with me. God finished with me. Yeah. So when God did what he did in my life, and that's a testimony for another day, but when he took me through the things that he took me through, God said, I'm not punishing you. Yeah. He said, I'm rebuilding you. You got, what did he say? He wanted, you get rid of the old and the new. It's a new. And God, he created something new in me. The fire that I have for him is different from when I had it before. So when God takes you through certain stuff and he rebuilds who you are, see, God, he allowed me to let go of the old me. Yes. You have to. Yeah, you have to. Because the old me wasn't going to do me no good. It hasn't. No. Right. At all. Yeah. So, when he took me through the stuff that I went through, because it was a hard time. I feel like I was in the wilderness season. I went through the Job season and went straight into the wilderness season. And people don't understand the Job season lonely, but that wilderness season, when you say wilderness, just think you out in the wilderness by yourself. And he made sure I couldn't call on nobody but him. He'll do you like that. Yeah. And he did it like that because
how can I put it? I was more into the things of life than him.
Yeah.
You know, it was all about, I'm not going to say material things or nothing like that, but everything else mattered more than him.
Yeah.
And when God sees that, because God is a jealous God.
Yes, he is.
And so when he saw that, he said, okay, so now you're not finna have nothing. So I'm going to take everything, and you're not finna have nothing but me. So me and you going to get in this room, and we're going to talk. Yeah. We're going to build a relationship. And then once I built that relationship with God, he gave me everything that he took back.
Yeah.
He gave me better.
Yeah.
You know?
Always going to be better.
He gave me better. So, but when I say that wilderness season, girl, I don't ever want to experience nothing like that in my life. That was one of them. I cried every day.
Honey, been there. I call it the hard place.
Yeah.
You know, it's the hard place. But you said something about refining.
Yeah.
Going through the refining fire.
Yeah.
Of God refining you in him. And just him restoring you and just doing everything that you need. I remember coming back to California and actually Las Vegas. I had moved to Columbus. It's a whole other story. But just in this whole journey all the way up to now, God refined me. He restored me because I wasn't restored. I had a lot of hurt. I had a lot of pain. I had a lot of misunderstanding, a lot of whys.
Yeah.
You know, that I didn't want to let go.
Yeah.
You know, and that I was pacified.
Right.
You know, I wanted to hold on to the excuses and different things like that. But God had to bring me to a hard place. You know, and in that hard place, He puts you through that refiner's fire. And he begins to prune out everything that, like you said, didn't do you any good. And he began to just take out all the impurities and just to remake you in him. You know, and the process, it wasn't hard. It wasn't easy. It was hard, you know, because now I'm in this place where I got to let all this self-will go. Yeah. I gotta, you know, I'm saying, God, your will, but he was like, you gotta let go of self-will. You gotta let it go, you know, of the old man that served you no purpose. Yeah. Like he was saying, it served me no purpose. The old man had to die. The Bible says that we are new creatures in him. You know, old things pass away. And behold, all things become new. So how can we be new holding on to the old stuff? Yeah. That's like oil and water. It don't work. Yep. It won't work, you know? And so once you allow God to refine you in him and you're letting go of self-will. A lot of people don't want to let go of self-will. You know, it's Lord, your will be done, but you still hold on to the things that you want to do. You still want to hold on to your self-will. Not knowing that if they let go, God is going to bless you 10 times more. He's going to give you greater than what you already had. Yes. Whatever you let go of, God is going to, man. He is. He is. But, I mean, the hard place, it made you a new person. You know, you allow God to refine you in that process. It was like withdrawals. Oh, Lord. Like you coming off something. You know, no, it is. It's like you coming off something. Some days you can't even get out of bed. Mood swings. No, yeah. Like you bipolar. Yes, girl. Right, it's hard. Yes, I completely understand that. But we thank God for the refining, you know, because refining is a part of chastising. You know, he chastised those whom he loves. If he did not, right, we got to whoop him. Right, we got to whoop him. Okay. But if he didn't love us, he would have done it. Yeah. He would have took out his time to take us through the process of refining us to become the women of God that he had created and called us and commissioned us to be. Yeah. You know, and so we thank God for that hard place that got us here to the place of just refining us in God. And now that we have let go of self-will, we're flowing. We're flowing in the things of God. You know, we're flowing in the blessings of God. Yeah. You know, and the blessings of God, they come in many different ways. They do. Overflow my blessings. Like, we got a little off topic, but I'm just like, I really don't even care about the topic because we're going to talk about it all. We're going to bring it all up. So, I'm just in a place. So, okay, so I got a question. What season of your life do you think you're in right now? Oh, I am in, I'm going to say this is the best season of my life. this season is the season that I am going to see myself fully in God. Walking, talking, and living. I'm going to see it in my family. This is the season for me that God is going to allow me to go forward. Everything thank you, Lord. I taught on Sunday, and my topic was the chase, the faith, and the victory. And I talked about the children of Israel when God delivered them from the hand of Pharaoh, and how Pharaoh chased them because they were an asset to Pharaoh. You know, they were the ones that was building for Pharaoh. The economy for Pharaoh, if Pharaoh went, he let the children of Israel go, you know, and so he began to chase them. And the children, it came to a part in the Bible, they said the children of Israel, they turned around and they see Pharaoh chasing them. And they began to murmur and complain to Moses, saying, you know, why did you bring us here? Didn't we tell you just to leave us there? We were okay with being in bondage. We were okay with working for Pharaoh and you know, being there where we were in Egypt. But you brought us here to die. Why didn't you just leave us there? And Moses had to turn and tell them to stand still and see the salvation of the Lord. The enemy that you see back there, you will never ever see it again. And he went to God, and this is what got me. He went to God, and he began to tell the Lord what was going on. And the Lord said these words, why are you crying to me? Tell them to move forward. Tell them to go forward. He said, lift up your rod. He was saying, you got everything in your hand to move forward. And my message was, you have what you need to move forward. God was telling me, I have what I need. I'm fully equipped to move forward in the best version of me that he's created me to be. To move forward in pastoralship, to move forward in my family, you know, to move forward even in business, just to move forward. The enemies, the issues, the circumstances, the things that I went through back then, he said, I won't see that issue no more. I won't see those things that I struggled with, the struggles that had me bound, the pharaohs of my life. He said, I won't ever see that again. Basically, lift up your hands. You have what you need. You have what you need. I've equipped you. I've anointed you for you to what? To move forward. And so in this season, this is my season to move forward.
Period.
To stand still and see the salvation of the Lord and move forward. Period. What about you?
So the season I think I'm in right now, because I feel like God literally stripped me. Like he stripped me of everything. And mentally, emotionally. So I'm recovering. So I feel like this is my restoration season. I'm being restored. So he's restoring me, but at the same time that he's restoring me, he's pushing me. So he's pushing me because he said the time is now.
Oh God, yes.
The time is now.
The time is now.
You already waited too late. You already, well, not waited too late, but you took a long time already. So the time is now. There's no more waiting. There's no more stalling. There's no more, I'll do it next year. There's no more, I'll do it next month. He said the time is now. So I feel like after he stripped me and what God did was he made me go through everything. So everything, forgiveness. He made me go through everything, healing. He made me, all the stuff I was struggling with mentally, emotionally, he took me through there. That's why I said that season, I didn't even talk to nobody really, you know, and I didn't really call nobody and tell nobody. I suffered alone really because, you know, I was with God, but, you know, he told me not to say nothing. And he told me, when I bring you out of this, still act like you in that.
Still act like you in it.
That's exactly what. When I bring you out, still act like you in it. And I did just that. You know? So, I feel like I'm being restored, but I'm being pushed. Because there's greater.
It is.
It's greater.
And you know that.
You
definitely know that.
So I feel like now God is he's about to do it. And that's
it on us.
And God is going to do it. And so, I will be speaking in July at the conference. I haven't spoken so long, so
I'm excited. I'm really excited.
I feel like I'm making God proud. And that's my goal in the end. like I said, I don't want to do nothing to disappoint God. And I feel like God has been so good to me, you know, even when I wasn't even worthy. When I felt like I wasn't even worthy enough for him to do the things that he did for me. You know, he done brought me out of a lot. He done did a lot for me, you know. When I didn't see a way out, he found a way. He brought me out. He is the way. You know. When they say he brought me out of darkness into the marvelous light, he did. And you know, and I feel like I owe him. We do. To do what he's called me to do. Yes. And so I really just, since I want to say, even when I was in my situation, I was still leaning on God. I wasn't mad at him because I knew that the path that I chose, because he told me to take another path. The path that I chose put me in a situation that I was in, you know. And a lot of times because we so hard-headed, we have to go through something that we wasn't even supposed to go through, you know. So
we take ourselves.
Yeah, we do. So I'm thankful for everything that I went through. I'm thankful for the trials, the tribulations. I'm thankful for the stress. Oh yeah. Everything, because now I am who I am. Right. Yeah. You know, and it's greater for me.
Yeah. So it's safe to say that you're in your season of moving forward. Yeah. You know, and I just believe that that is the word for this season, move forward. I really believe that God is telling his people that has gone through tough times like me and you to move forward. I have totally equipped you for everything that you need to do, everything that I have designed and commissioned and commanded you to do. You are fully equipped for it, and just move forward in it. You know, this is not the season to be hindered. This is not the season to be stagnated. This is not the season to procrastinate. This is the season for us to move forward and to see the things of God really unfold in our lives, to see the things of God come to pass. Yeah. Because there's some promises that he's been waiting to release. But because we haven't been in this place where we are now, he couldn't release it to us. But now he's ready to release it. Yeah. And this is why we have to move forward.
I always say, and I always tell people, the heavy battle that you're going through is because God is preparing you to carry the blessing that he has for you. So that heavy battle is the weight of that blessing that he's about to give you. So that's where I'm at. So it's safe to say the episode, I guess, was called Moving Forward. We picked out the jar, but it just didn't go that way. Right. So what would you say to somebody that's going through like what we've been through? Because we already went through that. I ain't trying to go through that again, so I learned my lesson. You know, I'm not getting over it again. So what would you say to somebody that is going to watch the podcast or who is watching that's going through tough times and going through a struggle, going through something that they don't feel like they can get out of? They lose hope in God. Yeah. So what would you say to them?
I would tell them to trust God. In everything that you're going through, even in the point of you wanting to give up on God, trust God anyway. It is in that place where that's where he needs you to be. He needs you to be in that place so you can become vulnerable unto him. Trust him. And just know that he's going to bring you out. Just know that he's going to deliver you. Just know that whatever the problem is, whatever the issue is, he's going to work it out. But you got to trust him. You got to believe in him. You got to know that he's going to make a way. The Bible says to stand still and see the salvation of the Lord. He told them, stand still and see the salvation of the Lord. He went on to say, the Lord will fight for you. Yeah. Whatever your situation is, whatever your circumstances is, no matter what it is, the Lord is going to fight for you. You just got to trust him. Just stand still and just say, Lord, you know what? I surrender all. Surrender everything to him. Sometimes we go through that because we're not fully surrendered. Surrender it. Yeah. Surrender it. Just yield to him. Yeah. You know, and just trust God, and he will bring you out. He will deliver you, and he will set you free. He will do it. I'm a living witness. You're a living witness.
Trust God. Yeah. So why do you think, because I had a problem with this in the past, like why do you think like when we're going through something like heavy and, you know, God tells us to give it to him because, you know, he can carry it, you know, why do you think we have such a hard time giving it to God?
Because we're so independent upon self. Yeah. You know, we're so busy trying to work it out on our own. And every time we try to go work it out on our own, we make a mess of it. Yeah. And it gets heavier. It's like that pile of dirt that you keep sweeping up under the rug.
Mm-hmm.
It just keeps getting bigger and it keeps getting bigger until it becomes a mountain.
Yeah.
You know? And so he tells us to cast all of our cares on him, for he cares for us.
Mm-hmm.
He tells us these things because he doesn't want us to carry the weight.
Mm-hmm.
But because we are so self-independent, we don't give God space to be God in our lives. And he's telling us, just give me the space to be who I am.
Yeah.
Your creator, your savior, your God. We got to give God the space to work. We got to give God the space to move.
Mm-hmm.
We got to give God the space to be God in our lives. And so that's the reason why we go through the things. That's why things get so heavy. That's why the weight's way down on us, because we are so busy trying to figure it out. We're so busy trying to work it out, and God didn't create us for that.
Yeah.
He didn't create us to work it out. He didn't create us to try to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
He created us to serve. He created us to live. He created us to do what he wants us to do. Not try to work it out.
Yeah.
And we always make a mountain out of a molehill and be crying, Lord. And I told you to turn it over to him.
Yeah.
And we just don't do that. So turn it over to the Lord. He'll work it out.
Oh yeah.
Turn it over to the Lord and he will work it out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So we hope you guys enjoyed the first episode of the podcast.
Amen.
We so glad you guys watched. You tuned in. I know y'all been waiting for so long. It will be more episodes. We working everything out, so excuse us if it was any kinks or any unorganized things happening. We are still working it out. We are a work in progress. We're here for anybody. If you guys need prayer, you guys need oil.
Absolutely.
We got oil.
Yes.
We have merchandise. We will show on the next episode. If you guys need prayer or anything, let us know.
Yes.
We are here for you guys. Pastor Valika does prayer on Mondays at 6 a.m.
Amen.
And so we're going to close out. And hey, church girls.
Hey, church girls. Y'all be blessed.
Be blessed.
Be blessed.
You finna close it out there, or you want me to play the song? Sorry, y'all. We're gonna let y'all hear the song.
Y'all getting all the transparency that's on here.
Oh, hey, hey, church girl. Hey, church girls, he made you perfect. He made you worth it. Don't let nobody tell you different. Hey, church girls, I know you've been hurting, and it feels uncertain, but everything gon' work out. Hey, church, he made you perfect. He made you worth it. Don't let nobody tell you different. Church girls, I know you've been hurting, and it feels uncertain, but everything gon' work out. I said everything gon' work out. It's only temporary. It gets better. Don't you go